The idea actually came from the 2011 Egyptian revolution.
Saying enough with the regime! This is a corrupt regime! We are saying enough with this regime!
At the time, we were seeing a country that was controlled by a regime be toppled by social media.
The political turmoil in Egypt is growing tonight as protesters demand President Hosni Mubarak to step down.
Egypt's uprising is a real movement that was born in a virtual world.
Egypt was in more than 1 in every 200 tweets on Twitter.
In the world.
On all the tweets in the world.
People were expressing their opinions online and they were being heard. An entire country came together over social media and changed their future. This is democracy. It was absolutely an amazing story. But then I started to look at our own political problems. In order to make sure we don't end up in unstable environments, everyone needs to be involved in politics. But then I started to look around and I realized I have no idea what's going on. I don't know who represents me at the state level, at the federal level. I don't know what they stand for. I don't know what they represent. I don't even know how to vote for them. I have no idea what's going on. And if you look at the facts, 70 to 80% of Americans are the same way. They don't know their House representative. They don't know the US senators that represent them. And the fact is, the United States has the lowest voter turnout than any other developed nation in the world.
The question is, do you know the senator that represents you?
Absolutely not.
Do you know the House representative that represents you?
Absolutely not.
Question, do you know your U.S. senator that represents you?
No.
A House representative that represents you?
No. I sure did. I did.
You don't remember, it's okay.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
We built an ecosystem that can't talk about politics. We can't talk about politics in the workplace. We can have a hard time talking about it amongst our friends, let alone, God forbid, you use it on social media. Are you willing to share your stance on abortion in public? We have hard topics to discuss in this country, but we reserve that to ourselves. And we can't have an open discussion about it. In a Princeton study, this is why 70% of individuals go directly to their parents for political advice.
What's your primary source of information?
My primary source of information would be the internet, but because the internet is so easily manipulated, I don't feel comfortable going to the internet and looking for unbiased information, because you can see it all across the internet and different types of media where they want you to look a certain way politically, so they'll make these articles or these topics come up in front of you and make them seem to show a certain light as opposed to giving you an unbiased opinion. So that's something that I really want to know more about, but I don't know how to go about it.
And when I do turn on the mainstream media, I have a hard time grasping what they're trying to portray.
But time and time again in this campaign, you have actually told the voters one thing only to reverse yourself within weeks or even sometimes days.
Everybody's got to be covered. This is an un-Republican thing for me to say.
In many cases, I probably identify more as a Democrat.
Why are you joining the Reform Party?
I really believe the Republicans are just too crazy right.
You were against same-sex marriage, now you're for it. You defended President Obama's immigration policies, now you say they're too harsh. You supported his trade deal dozens of times. You even called it the gold standard. Now, suddenly last week, you're against it. Will you say anything to get elected?
America's political problems are bigger than I thought. We can't have an open discussion about our politics. We don't even know who our political leaders are, and let alone we can even hold them accountable. There has to be a better way to manage these problems, and we are responsible. This led to the birth of Our Voice. Hi guys, my name is Kyle Kling and I'm the founder of Our Voice. Our Voice is an application that crowdsources political opinions to help you understand more about your political leaders. Our Voice is trying to solve the problem of discovery, open up the discussion, and even hold politicians accountable. Let me show you how it works. Once you log on to Our Voice, you first start by entering the zip code of where you live. This will help you view all the politicians that represent you. You click on a politician and you get to see all the pros and cons of that politician. These pros and cons are opinions that people submit, and they can be upvoted. In order to submit opinion, you must log in. We want real voices. And you have a limited number of characters. And this is your opinion on how you feel about that politician, factual or not. And all of these opinions are crowdsourced and upvoted. Our voice differentiates itself by focusing on simplicity, content that people want. People want to participate, and we know this. We're trying to lower the barriers, keep them anonymous, help them express their views. We want everyone to be involved. Our Voice's business model is selling its data to political campaigns. Every year, $4 billion is spent by political campaigns on just research alone, trying to understand their voters. The app has been built and is currently in beta. We are testing for bugs to make sure that the user experience is seamless. We have been bootstrapped from the very beginning. We're currently looking for $1 million in funding. Hopefully that will help us really ramp up not only the team, but the marketing efforts that allow us to reach every American in the United States. My background, I am 22 years old. I grew up in a small town in Minnesota in a modest family. I ended up growing up and taking college in high school and graduated college in high school with my AA degree. I went on to a 4-year university, but ended up dropping out after a year and a half to run away to Silicon Valley. Ended up joining a venture capital fund. Started at the very, very small stage, went from intern to vice president to business development. In the course of 2 years, I helped set up over 9 different funds, 8 different international offices, and make over 60 different investments. Recently, I had left the last company to start my own consultancy. I help international corporations invest in startups within Silicon Valley and also other places around the world. I work with some of the largest telcos out of Southeast Asia, some of the largest gaming companies out of Japan, and other companies all over different parts of this world. The purpose of starting this application was it was a personal problem for me. And I got so frustrated that I couldn't sleep at night and I had to do something. Our Voice is an app that crowdsources opinions of our political leaders. We are trying to open up the discussion of the state of our economy. We're trying to be the voice of the American people. We are trying to build a movement. This is Our Voice.